There was a woman, dark-skinned and beautiful, dressed in the finest silks, adorned like a queen, but born in chains. Her name was Paula de Eguiluz, and her story is not one of simple witchcraft. It is a story of power, struggle, and the danger of being a black woman, too wise for the world she was born into. Hey everyone, welcome back to Papa Seer's YouTube channel. If you love diving into captivating stories about hoodoo history, Black American spirituality, and so much more, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you always know whenever I post a new video. I'll give you a moment right now to go ahead and hit like and also subscribe. Paula was a black woman of African descent who became one of the most famous accused witches in the Spanish colonies. Paula was born in Santo Domingo in present-day Dominican Republic. But by the time she was in her 20s, she had been taken to Cuba, where she served in the household of Juan de Eguiluz, a Spanish miner. A relationship formed, one more complicated than any trial could tell. She bore him 3 children, and in return, Juan dressed her in the best. He allowed her to walk the streets with dignity most black women of her time would never know. This obvious favoritism and high status, however, provoked envy among her neighbors. But was this white male lust for his African slave, or was it enchantment? Did she charm him, draw him in with the ancient ways of her ancestors brought from across the ocean, or did he see her as a possession? In Havana, she developed a reputation as a skilled healer and midwife in the Afro-Cuban community. They say she tried to heal her owner once, mixing rosemary, orange peel, bone dust, and wine, a powerful blend, but he refused it. He didn't trust it. Although he favored her, he didn't trust her. When an illness took a child, an infant whose navel she sucked in an act of healing, as many healers did, the whispers turned into cries. A failed cure became a murder, and Paula was accused. In 1623, Paula was accused of witchcraft in Cuba. 11 witnesses, 11 voices cried out, "Witch, sorceress, the devil's lover." She was dragged from Cuba to Cartagena and thrown into the darkness of the Spanish Inquisition, accused not only of witchcraft, but heresy, seduction, and worse, simply because she was a black woman who knew too much and who lived too well. She was 33 when her trial first began. Paula's first witchcraft trial took place in 1624. She was denounced to the Spanish Inquisition in Havana on charges that included murdering a newborn baby and drinking its blood, making a demonic pact, and using magic to survive a violent fall. All fantastical allegations. After 200 lashes and years of imprisonment, they tried to break her, robbed her of her beauty, and stripped from her power. But Paula lived. Sometime after completing her sentence, Paula de Eguiluz gained her freedom and relocated to Cartagena de Indias in present-day Colombia. Cartagena was a major port with a large population of free blacks and enslaved Africans, many of whom maintained traditional healing and spiritual practices. Paula resumed her work as a curandera, or healer, and midwife, serving both Black and Creole communities. She also became part of a network of Afro-Caribbean women who traded love potions, remedies, and magical services, especially those related to erotic magic. In 1632, Inquisition officials grew suspicious that Paula had relapsed into witchcraft during her years in Cartagena. That year, September 1632, the Holy Office arrested Paula again on renewed witchcraft charges. In her second trial, witnesses, including other Afro-descended women, testified about Paula's continued involvement in sorcery. Likely, some were coerced or trying to save themselves. It is recorded that Paula even taught rituals and incantations to others, for instance, how to rekindle a lover's affection or inflict pain on unfaithful men. Facing the inquisitors a second time, Paula once more confessed under duress to a range of diabolical deeds. The second trial came when she was in her 40s, but this time she played a different game. She didn't deny her gifts, no. She said she was a Christian woman, that her herbs, her oils, her rituals were all for God. She spoke their language, wore their mask. She was no longer the naive beauty of her youth. She was strategic, careful, calculated. But the Inquisition wasn't finished. By 1638, Paula stood trial a third time. They said she had lied before, that she had led others into sin. In this third trial, Paula was more cautious in her testimony, fearing a misstep could lead to a death sentence. She repeatedly emphasized that she was a healer, not a witch, proudly calling herself a curandera, who only ever intended to help others. Ultimately, Paula de Eguiluz survived this trial, as well as an extraordinary feat to endure 3 Inquisition witch trials. She was again convicted, but instead of execution, she likely faced continued penalties, such as public shaming or exile. She signed confessions without knowing how to read or write. She walked through trials where her very breath was criminal. By the mid-1930s, Paula was alive. One account even notes she continued to be consulted for her healing skills by people as prominent as local bishop, despite her conviction. Paula de Eguiluz's testimony also ensnared many others. Her statements led to the arrest of 21 other women in Cartagena on witchcraft suspicions. She stands out in history as a resilient figure, a persecuted healer who endured and influenced the dynamics of colonial witch trials. We remember Paula de Eguiluz not as a witch, not as a victim, but as a woman who refused to die quietly. A woman who lived 3 lives in one body. A woman who who turned her knowledge into a weapon, her voice into survival, and her name into legend.